Hi everyone, Steve here, Dolores there, Elise is behind the camera. We're going to be making an easy farro bowl today. The first thing you do with a farro bowl is to make the farro because it takes about 30 minutes to boil it. Unless you find something like this in the grocery store. It's a little bit more expensive, but it saves you about 20 minutes. It's quick cooking farro, quick cooking grains. You just put them in boiling water and they're done in 10 minutes. So we have all our ingredients here. Elise can explain what goes into this farro bowl.
Extra virgin olive oil, spices, we have garlic powder, not garlic salt, chili powder, pure sea salt, and black pepper, and a large lemon. We have fresh garlic, there's a fresh, a block of Parmesan cheese, not grated, some happy eggs, bone broth, and a giant onion.
Start with our farro. We rinsed it here. We basically want double the amount of water that we have with farro. So if we have 2 cups farro, we need 4 cups water. We're gonna put the water in the pot. And we'll put our rinsed farro in with it. And we'll bring it to a boil with a bunch of salt. When I say a bunch, I mean like a couple pinches. Because sometimes when you eat grain, it's super bland. It's because the water wasn't salted. Or it's a really mushy texture, it's because the water wasn't salted. So to keep grains crisp and kind of chewy, and to have well-seasoned grain where you can just eat the grain by itself, you want to put a little bit of salt in your water. So we have 2 different types of kale for our farro bowl. One is lacinato kale, the other is just straight up green kale. Both of them taste great. This one is a little bit more tender, this one is more robust. But for both of them, we want to take them off the stems. Like we have here. This is off the stem, like this is off the stem. And here's our stems, and we can use these as you would celery for soup. So we'll save these, put them in the fridge in a Ziploc bag, and we'll use them a little bit later. Hi everybody, we're about to start our greens. You saw us chopping them, you saw us chopping the onions and the garlic. It's as simple as that. To make really anything taste good, all you need is some onions and garlic. So this is our pot for the greens. We're gonna start out with some extra virgin olive oil. A good amount, because the olive oil helps you absorb a lot of the nutrients that are in the greens. So you want to coat the whole bottom of the pan, put it on low heat, and we'll just let it heat up a little bit, and we'll put our onions and garlic, and then we're going to squeeze a bunch of lemon once the greens are kind of tender. So the onions and garlic are translucent. They're starting to get super soft. So we're gonna put our greens in because the greens don't take as long to cook as the onions and the garlic do. And then you might have to put these in stages until they wilt. So we'll just take them up to the top and we'll stir them in like so. Kind of push them into the onions and the garlic and bring the onions and garlic to the top of the greens to get them wilted. And they'll get brighter and brighter and brighter green, that's when you know they're about to start to wilt. You can already see it happening. About halfway through cooking the greens, we're gonna add at least a quarter of a lemon to the cooking greens. So in order to put even more flavor into these greens and add protein to it besides the egg, we're adding chicken bone broth. We found this on sale at the grocery store. Bone broth is interesting because unlike stock or unlike just regular chicken broth, chicken bone broth has collagen and it has a bunch of protein. So when you add it to a dish, like we added a little bit to the farro, and we're gonna add some to the greens, it's gonna amp up the protein in your entire dish without you even really noticing. And it adds a bunch of flavor as well. So we're gonna add it to the greens. It's gonna steam the greens, let them cook a little bit faster so that we can eat, because we're hungry. So our farro is done, our greens are done. Now we're just gonna put our eggs on. Whenever we're making an egg, we wanna wait till the very last minute to start the eggs, because with this dish especially, we want that yolk to be super runny. So we don't wanna start the egg before the farro's done, we don't wanna start the egg before the greens are done. These will stay hot, but our eggs need to be have a runny yolk so that we can put them right onto our bowl at the very end, and then just sprinkle cheese on top, and then we're good to go. And everything else is done, so we're gonna plate. If you want to be fancy, you can do it in 3 or 4 distinct layers. We have our farro. We're coming, getting our greens. Make sure you get some of that juice from the bottom. The egg on top, like so. And then we'll get our cheese and do a little sprinkler. And voila!
Delicious.